Saturday morning. We've got a little overcast and some light sprinkles of rain. It feels really good though. Overcast feels really good. I like to watch overcast burn off, and the day become warmer and warmer. And I used to live in a part of Los Angeles called the Valley, and talk about, because it's a valley, and the heat gets trapped, and the valley can get a little bit hotter. It's been about 20 years there, a little well over. And then, things change. Change is going to happen all the time, no matter what. Whether you resist it or not, it's going to happen. And there's universal laws that are in play. But they're in play for us so that we can, hold on, here comes, I love it, in the morning. It's 9:22 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And you hear this noise a lot over here in, let's let it go by, right? You hear it a lot over here in what is considered the very beginnings of downtown Long Beach. It's I live in a neighborhood. It's an interesting neighborhood, and it's part of third density. Hi, Karina. It's got its ups and downs. It's got its ins and outs. It's got its good and bad. It's third density, right? And if you look at third density from a hello, good AM. I'll be DMing you. Miss you so much. So much has changed over here. Oh my God! By the way, found a road dog. Oh, you found a road dog? Road dog meaning a dog that was abandoned on the road, or a car. Yay, I got to, I lingo for every different period of time that I grew up in. But what I was saying is I love watching, being new, at least a year into Long Beach. I love watching the overcast, and we have it was the best light drizzle, and it felt so good. The wind, the hint of heat, and then the water. It just was the best. And so the chit chat today is about actually what Corina Serpent Visionary Oracle was talking about. Everything changes, and a lot of times when we resist change, it feels bad. It feels uncomfortable. Gotta go drop off off to the shop in Palm Springs. Road dog as in person, whole road trip that has a car. Ooh, I'll be in OC next weekend. Ooh, nice. Okay. Oh, Tay. As I say, oh, Tay. Yes. So we'll DM later. Have a beautiful, glorious, wonderful day. Peace, love. So I was when I have a new project called Soul Talk with Sandeem. And you kind of go, well, what's the difference between Soul Conversations with Sandra, the podcast, and Soul Talk with Sandeem? Soul Talk with Sandeem is, I wrote it down so that so I could explain it. I mean, this was just something off the top of my head between me and my son. And Soul Talk with Sandeem is a show about, or a talk show about practical ways to apply spiritual your spirituality in your everyday life. And many people do that different ways. Oh, yeah, you got me, Ote Spanky. I know that I'm dating myself, but I love the life that I have led up until this point, and the memories are glorious. And I like to go back in there and pull out those. And if some people go, oh, I remember that show, it's so old. Well, for you, that's your, we'll tell them, for them, that's their point, their perspective, and they're welcome to have it. But for me, it's a now moment that I choose to share, right? So I'm glad you got that. So Soul Talk is that I will be having guests on that actually talk about how they put their spirituality. And spirituality does not mean that you don't go to church and you're not a Baptist, or you're not a Catholic, or you're not a Jewish person. Spirituality is about your one-to-one relationship with the divine, with whatever you call your higher being, right? That is not your soul, but the higher being, the creator, right? And spirituality is how you take the things in your life and how you apply them to your lives, and apply how you're if you're doing what I would call the positive polarity or the negative polarity. Our higher beings, our souls, came to learn both, so that they can make a choice. So it's not just our form body that gets to have a free will and make choices. Our higher being came into this third density to make choices, and through those choices of the experience, share it with the divine that is moving in, through, and as us, being us every day in the experience. So that our divine creator is feeling what choices it is expressing as, and the choices that we are making as the form body and the conscious mind. So you go, what? All of this is going on? Well, yeah. It's the contrast that helps you either play out your story or write it out in a script form. It's also the fact that you have I know a lot of kids say, no, I wouldn't have made you my parent or whatnot. But yeah, our higher beings chose the polarity, the energy polarities that it wanted to feel along the polarity stream. Higher polarity, lower polarity, lower energies, meaning lack and envy and hate. They wanted to feel that. Why? They had to feel that in order to feel what unconditional love feels like in form. Because they know what it is, and that they are that in the formless. They know that. So when they come into our form bodies, when they lower themselves from the realm of divine, or heaven as you might call it, when they lower that higher energy, the energy, that vibratory energy, into this physical being, and is born into this third density, they're asleep for a while. They're kind of on snooze, getting acclimated to the body. So your body and your mind kind of take over, protecting you, giving you your egoic system gives a picture to your mind of what the outside world is like, and then it tries to dive into your past and give you something similar, so you can make a judgment call. Not a discernment call, because as soon as your higher being comes online, then your higher being helps you with the discernment. And as your higher being is recalling who it was, and why it created you, why it chose you, and what it's wanting to express, It's remembering that. But if you don't go inward and ask, hey, what are you trying to express through me? It's going to try to give you signals. It's going to try to help point you in the right direction without usurping your free will choice, without putting its free will choice of learning what higher polarity and lower polarity are, or the affirmative polarity or the negative polarity, or you might say positive or negative, because it gets to choose to this. And yeah, some higher beings like the negative polarity, which is why I am talking today. It's they get, the body, mind, and soul gets to express what they come to express, whether it's in lower polarity or negative polarity or not. Now, you are given free will, plus you're giving feelings and emotions that help you say whether you want to stay in that story with them. At some point, our higher beings have said, yeah, I'll come play that with you. But the thing is, while we were playing, the option to opt out was veiled, and then it was buried down through living life. As soon as your higher being comes on and some of the veils start to lift, whether you're just living life and you're not having that awakening moment, you're actually your higher being is actually having this journey with you. Now, some come in with their higher beings, know that they only want to experience the lower polarities, because they've experienced it before and they like it, so they come back. Now, most higher beings that do the negative polarity, they don't like taking a form body, because they get called out or seen by your higher being that is living higher polarity and lower polarity, and can see into that spirit, into that the higher being that's doing that. And if you're not asking, show me that which I cannot see with my physical eyes, because we're used to everything physical. It must be, if I'm seeing it, it must be real. Therefore, I'll deal with it. But some things are happening on a very intimate spiritual level. You could call it spiritual warfare, but if you call it warfare, then you're always going to be bumping up against war. With whether it's the form bodies and countries or whatnot, and then with spiritual, whether you want to call them entities or evil entities or whatever, you can name them whatever you name them. They're all aspects of the divine. They're just choosing a polarity to resonate in, and they're choosing. They have to come in and as some people might say, energy vampire. But you know what? A vampire cannot suck your energy unless you give it free, unless you open yourself up and say, okay, if you establish that you're fearing this, then they have an opening. But you have a wellspring of energy. The divine is flowing in through and as you as energy, and it is never depleted. And no one can ever steal it. But you can give it away. You can give them the permission, because you're focused on it. You may silently not call it fear, because you're saying, oh, I'm going to put up boundaries here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to wear the evil eye. What it says is, if you're doing all that stuff, you are engaged in fear. That's what the laws of attractive, the universal laws look at. And the universal laws are always tuned in to every single one of us. So wherever you're vibrating the most, the energy says, your wish is my command. So what you can ask is, you can ask your higher being, what are you seeking in this life experience from my foreign body? Because everything that I'm going through does not feel like it's for my highest and greatest good. Then you're putting your higher being on in the explanation seat to give you an explanation why it's always gravitating towards the negative polarity. But that's only if you ask. And then there are some higher beings that like the negative polarity, and the foreign body that likes the negative polarity, because they like being all about themselves and who they can manipulate. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But these beings, these human beings having this life, will come in and out of everybody's pages, looking for people and even higher beings that they can manipulate. And if you're always talking about protection of this, and I've got to protect my energy, whatnot, they say, well, they believe that their energy can be assimilated or astrobated or irritated or sucked, and that's where they'll stay. And guess what? Just like human beings can mask in like autism and other various forms, higher beings that take on the negative polarity can have masks. They can be whatever you want them to be until they're ready to utilize the energy that you are willfully giving them through fear, or through anxiety, or through confusion, or through even hate. And it could be just as simple as hating the way your mother always treats you when she never lets you finish a sentence, or hating that the relationship between your mother and father never worked out, and you had to grow up in a single parent household. But if you're constantly vibrating in that, that's a negative polarity. You're open for these higher beings that resonate in the negative polarity, and to utilize you. You're giving them, find out what permission looks like. It doesn't have to be that you're actually verbally saying, come on in my life. It's about how you vibrate, what actions you take, how you vibrate when you speak. Are you speaking a positive out about what you want, and then going by what you see and hear, and saying, oh, I hope I get it? Well, you just took it from, this is what I want, this is what I'm desiring, and put it out there to the universe, and then you took a back seat, and in the back seat you said, well, I hope it's going to work out. God help me, let it work out. Well, the universe is now going to be focused where you are most vibrating at. And if you are sending a double message to the universe, the message that vibrates the most is going to be what manifests for you, right? And that's even in people who their higher beings are taking on the negative polarity. Negative polarity is only that your vibration likes your higher being took on, like, ooh, I like controlling people. Ooh, this feels, it's only an experience for the divine and for your higher being, but you have to sit at the seat of your soul and go, well, I don't like the way this feels. I don't like the way that conversation came out. I don't feel it's for my highest and greatest good. And then guess what? Your higher being knows that you, through your free will choices, can opt out of that experience. Your higher being has to yield. It experienced what it was to be in a lower vibration, but you get to opt in to saying, I want something different. Now, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people want to deal with people who have these what you might call souls, or Grand Rising Sandra, and only you and me right now. Love it. Love it. Hi, Roberta. Yeah, they some people came in and they left, you know. We'll hear on Instagram, yeah. So everybody's higher being is seeking the contrast of higher and lower polarity. And guess what? Once again, I'll say that our higher beings came on into this experience having the option to make a choice. Ooh, a choice? Our higher beings? What do you mean? Our souls get to have a choice? But yeah, our souls get to have a choice. As they move up the polarity to merge back with the divine and share with the divine the energy of wisdom and understanding, as they experience this third density, or what you might call duality, they get to make a choice between the positive polarity and the negative polarity. And yeah, guess what? Some souls get stuck in the negative polarity. Negative polarity is to serve self and no one else at all costs. It doesn't matter who you hurt. It doesn't matter if it's if you run with a group that hurts other people, or end up being a bully or whatnot. It's the experience. But what I'm sharing with you now is, if you don't like say there's a bully, and he was bullied, or he or she was bullied when she was small, and the parents were bullied when they were small. Okay, now you want to say that's generational, but if you think about it, in order to play in the playground that you are in, that story had to start from at least great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother, in order for the story to be what your higher being wants to experience now. Whatever your now moment, whenever you were born, before your higher being came onto this playground, your higher being had a powwow with other higher beings and said, I want to learn this, this, and this. Right? I want to learn what it means to be have unconditional love in the form body. I also want to learn what it's like to have the vibration of abundance in form body. And other beings said, well, we'll play with you, but you've got to understand, in order to know what that feeling, those higher feelings are, we're going to have to express to you some lower feelings. Right? And every higher being on top of that gets to choose which vibration it likes more. So bring it back to you now from whatever you've experienced, and you going, how could my parents do that? How could my grandparents do that to my parents? How could my great grandparents do that to my? It's to bring you to this now moment, so that your higher being seeks or goes into your DNA and seeks the light codes that it put notes on to recall why it came into this duality experience, and what it wanted to experience through the story, through the physical form, and what it gets to decide, right? I have been truly and deeply working through this the last days and assistance, including internal family systems and incredible shifts, and even children here around me, quite literally in this reality. Yes. And you get to make all these choices. So now, instead of for what we've been taught is we've been taught to blame our first we've been taught to say generational curses. That comes out of our words. Those are words that the divine has to express through. The energy has to 3 coughs, yeah, clearing the throat chakra. It always happens when it's time for either myself or someone in the room to clear the throat chakra. Hold on. Clearing for me and for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you. I received the love. I do this because I love. I unconditionally love. I love everyone that comes in through the room. Even those who come in and bring energy for disruption, I don't send that energy that they leave in the room back to them. I give it right to the divine. And I give thanks that the divine knows exactly what to do with that energy. And if the divine feels that energy needs to go back to whoever left it in the room for whatever reason they left it in the room, so be it. It's let it be so. You know, there is so much that my higher being and my body can do, but I know that the divine, the creator of all things that created me, knows exactly what to do, what to vibrate, and what to say. Right? So I say this because there are a lot of individuals that move through all of our pages for whatever reason. Some of them, their higher beings are accessing or vibrating in the lower polarities. And most of what the divine shared with me is that it's lower polarities of control. Going through people's pages, finding more people to follow, could be because they're black or melanated, or they're Asian, or whatever, or some go and they find all the Jewish people or all whatnot, or they just find all minorities, or seeking out people who put a lot of pictures of their children on. And then these higher beings, they know how to mask. They know how to be exactly what they want to be. They want you to be. So it's for your highest and greatest good to ask. What is to ask the divine? What do you want me to see that I cannot? What do you want me to see with my spiritual eyes that I can't see with my physical eyes? Because when you see with your physical eyes, you see somebody who's supporting you or masking that they're in alignment with you, but they're using you or your energies to promote them, to help push them, because they're dabbling in lower energies. That lower energy, unless they have either a group that is dabbling in lower energy to make what your energy is, they've got to come in and they believe that they've got to siphon off of yours. Well, first, I know I'm not calling my energy back from any of them. They can have it. But I will always close my circle. Right? I'm getting these same experiences. Yeah. The thing is that you have that ability to ask, I can't say more, thank you though, I hear you. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you are truly honest with your higher being about wanting to be liberated, then you ask your higher being some very in-depth questions. Your higher being has to answer you. It chose you. It's obligated to answer you. It's obligated to tell you what journey it's taking you on, and it knows that through your free will that you were given from the Creator and Earth Consciousness that started this story and invited us to play, that it's obligated to adhere to our free will choice of change, of growth and expansion. And other higher beings that come in to your room, and I just say the higher beings because they're always going to come into your room as a form being, or as what you think might be a form being, and they have to honor your request to leave. You don't want to play in their playground. You're not going to allow your energy to support them. They know this. And it doesn't matter if they're in groups it doesn't matter that you can name groups. Everybody wants to name the groups and talk about the government and speak people's names. But do you know, when you speak people's names continuously, the universe says, okay, you want another door open with more of that person's name. You're giving that person your power. You're actually supporting that. Hi, hashtag Harry. How you doing? Right? The more you talk about them, the more they stay on the scene. That's and I will only use this word once. That's why COVID hasn't left yet, because folks keep calling it back. Folks keep it on their lips. So that energy that was called COVID, that what turned into the form thing called the virus, you keep calling it back. If you keep it on your mouth, if you keep it in your fear, if you have a fear of it, all the energy of the divine can do is say, your wish is my command, because energy is here to serve, and it will turn into a form. If you're constantly looking 24/7 about wars here and wars there, and that's all that your vibration is about, the universe has no recourse but to say, your wish is my command, and open more doors where either you're more available to the energies of wars and rumors of wars, and that's it. Wow, insightful, Sandra, and the clarity I require on this and confirmation. I don't know what you mean about Chinese whispers. I don't know what that means. No attention on what we perceive. Yeah, I mean, if you have attention and you're putting it on judgment, just like everybody else is doing, and you're not turning to a discernment, right? And the discernment is, wow, I wish it could be more peace. I wish we had more peace in the world. Then the divine hears that. But now you've got to show the divine what peace looks like for you. That's the embodiment. That means that what you're asking the divine to see more of, now you've got to be peace. The divine says, what does peace look like? Then you go inward, sit with your higher being, and you start to extrapolate and give your higher being information about what peace is. Let me go into me, because I know I was born. I know I was born peace. Let me take a glimpse of that from within. And then as it comes forward and as you embody it more, then all it can do is what's in is out. And what's out is in as well. If you're constantly looking at the news 24/7, if you have your, say on the weekend, you have your TV on 24/7 because you got to keep up with the news, and you got to keep up with this, and you got to keep up with the Democrats and the Republicans, and you got to keep up with the wars in here and who's doing this and the trials and tribulations of everything, then the universe says that's where your vibration is. The universe says, I have no gray area. I've got to give you more. So I'm going to open more doors for that. For you. It says, your wish is my command. And think of this, that it's not only you that have free will, it's your higher being or your soul that has come into this experience to have free will to choose between a positive polarity and a negative polarity. And if all you're giving it is all the negative extrapolations of a negative polarity, what do you think it's going to choose? And if it's choosing that for you, moving in, through, and as you, then what more are you going to keep having? And then you're going to be going to people's pages to read cards for you to figure out how you can get out of this. Going to have people have light language for you, light language healing for you. But if you don't want to heal, no matter how much they do light language for you, you're not going to heal unless you go within and have an allowing moment that you want to change something. Right? And that includes people whose higher beings are in the negative form. And there are some higher beings that reincarnate knowing that they want to experience the negative form. Normally they don't do that because they'll get seen spiritually by someone who's awakened, or through another soul that's, you might call them an old soul or whatnot, that can see that. Very rarely. Not very rarely. Rarely. But most of us don't see it because we're in other shit. We're in we say now we go from being religious to being spiritual, and now we think because we're spiritual we get to call out other people's shit instead of growing, expanding, learning, shifting, and becoming. We get to sit and look at everything around and call that out. Well, the thing is, everyone, including what you look at that you don't like or don't feel is good, is everyone is having that experience. Everyone came in having an experience. That higher being came in and chose to have that experience of control. So then there are the other people that chose higher beings that chose that as well. Hence we've got Republicans and Democrats. Hence we've got old dogma in Christianity and Catholicism and Judaism and whatnot that isn't for the highest and greatest good of beingness, but yet the divine says, well, let it be so. That's what they chose. Now, if you choose to focus on that and try to change somebody's direction in their path, and you keep finding out that there's a lot of negativity going on in your life, and you choose to blame that on others instead of going inward and going, well, what can I change about this? What can I change about this story? How can I opt out? Because just because there's Republican and Democrat things going on doesn't mean you have to make it your continuum of focus. You can know what's going on in the news. That way you can know how to hold space for a spiritual positive result for the greater good of all. But you can't stop somebody else from having an experience. Now you can judge it, but what you put out comes back to you and only you. That's the law of cause and effect. You can say, I don't believe in that, and the law of cause and effect will still work. You'll just be like blaming other people for what's happening to you. But if you go in and you discern, well, these people are making their mistakes, but I don't want to be a part of it. And you can go, well, however it works out, I'm going to still live my life. I'm still going to live my life. I'm not going to let their energy impact me. They may, because they believe that they're in control, they may think it's going to impact me, but what's their thought process have to do with mine? That's called opting out. A lot of people will look at you and go, you're just full of wishy-washy. I have people who think that about me. And you know what? It's okay. I just, the time that I have in this lifetime to spend is not, I decided, I felt what it's like to have other people's perspectives impact me so that I don't have the best experience possible. And because I say I didn't like that, I went, I can opt out. I don't have to let that be my primary focus. Not to say I'm not on up on the news, because there is always somebody that will say, did you watch the news? X, Y, and Z, blee, blee, blee. And I will say, okay. Hey, Taurus girl, how are you? So you still have this free will to make a choice. It may not be the same choice as sister, brother, mother, father, uncles, great uncles, or your generational ancestors that you made, but you get to make a choice. You get to have a choice to opt out of any game that's being played. Wonderful, wonderful day. May great blessings be bestowed upon you on your present. Ooh, thank you. I receive. Blessings, blessings. I'm all right. Saturday. Ooh, Saturday in the garden. Gardening. Ooh, it's sunny here. It's still overcast here. The overcast hasn't burned off yet. But it feels really good. Roberta, gotta go now. I love you. Thank you, Roberta, for stopping in. I hope that helps you. The divine told me to get on here and have a soul chat, so chit chat, and just know that you don't have to spend a lot of time when people aren't aligned with you. You don't have to spend a lot of time trying to protect yourself. You could just opt out of the story. You could say, hey, that's not my story. I opt out. I'm over here now. And they have to honor that. The higher being that's part of that form body knows it has to honor your free will choice to get out of the game and go play on another part of the playground. That's called free will choice for body, for mind, and for higher being. All right? So, I remember reading something in the Raw, Raw said that because our higher beings are on this journey of every lesson, every experience that our higher being is having, it's helping it make a polarity decision, choice. So the more we have, yes, did some shamanic healing with a group, was good. Was good. You ever done any shamanic healing? No, I haven't. I haven't done any yet. Actually, I did some healing on somebody's live, which was really nice. Really, but not in person, not at a workshop, not at an in-person workshop, right? And I will tell you, it was very nice. But I do not do ayahuasca. I don't do. I really don't do any type of weed or anything like that. I like my direct connection to the divine. It's for me. It's pure. I didn't need to use that. So I think if the divine has never really directed me to do that, but to this shamanic live that I was on, oh, it was powerful. But it was healing, but it was powerful. It was soft, but it was powerful. It resonated with me, and it's still there, So I hope that answers your question. Let me know. Hi, M. So what was I saying? Oh, our higher beings are on a journey as well, and they're learning from our experiences, our stories. They're learning what it feels like in the positive polarity and what it feels like at the aspects of the negative polarity. And they get to make a choice. Wow, right? They get to make a choice of how they want to vibrate. And some, believe it or not, some souls or higher beings, whatever you choose to call them, choose negative polarity. Some souls get a kind of like energy drunk off of control and abundance of money at the cost of everybody else. They don't mind climbing on the backs of bodies to get to be absorbed in self only. And you go, what? Yeah. That's why you were given feelings and emotions, because your body will feel this, and your mind will try to absorb it, and figure out why. Sometimes you start out going, why isn't why does everybody hate me? Because you're boorish or pushy and you can't understand why people turn and go the opposite way when you come in, and then you find out somebody's bold enough to tell you, well, you're kind of pushy and you want your own way and everything has to be right, and you talk bad to people and whatnot. Well, if you have that information and it makes you stop for a moment, it makes you literally stop. It puts your ego in a silent mode. That is the perfect time to have a conversation with your higher being and go, wait, hold up. I have free will. I've got to know. I want to know why I'm feeling this way about the things that I'm pursuing, and actually say, what have you come in my body to learn? Why am I always feeling like I'm the bad guy? And your higher being will go, well, you are the bad guy because I really like control. And you have a moment to say, well, nope, I'm opting out of this. I don't want to play this game. If you truly don't want to. Because remember, you can live your life and the experiences up until the moment that your form body and formless higher being separate. But know that your higher being has to go a couple of more levels before it can merge back with the divine, because it can only merge back with the divine in unconditional love, because that's what the divine is. And remember, your higher being is an expression of the divine. So when it merges back in with the divine says, what have we learned? And understand this, blew my mind, is your higher being doesn't have to merge back with the formless. It can turn around and say, I want to do it again. But then it makes a decision. Do I want to do it again in form body, or do I want to express as consciousness, being what other people want to see? Whoa. So if you believe in negative entities, or if you believe in the devil, or you believe in evil spirits, that's where it's going to go, because it wants to express the negative polarity, and it can do that. Why? Because it's the divine seeking itself as that expression. And you go, well, why would the divine do that? Because the divine is seeking itself as expression in third density, in duality. But when it does, come through, decide to come through form and go through the birthing process, it comes in already acclimated to some negative vibrational energy. It's masked. It's veiled, right? Sandra, gotta go. Have a nice day. Catch you again. Yeah, I'm about to go too. I just thought I'd come in and talk about this part, or this aspect of our beingness, because we look at a lot of people in our history that were of the negative polarity, and we go, oh, well, they would have never got back into heaven. But why not? That was an aspect of the divine seeking itself, and those were the choices that higher being and that form body chose. So that higher being goes back, if it wants to merge back again with the divine, it has to take on the aspect of the divine, unconditional love. And most do that. So anyway, let me see how long I talked. 52 minutes, 49, 52:51. Okay. So I am going to close it there. Thank you, Taurus girl. Have a beautiful weekend. I'm not sure who else is in the room. Thank you, Domini. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I am thankful and grateful to everyone that has come into this room, that has listened for a millisecond or 5 minutes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any energy that has been left in this room for maliciousness or hindrance, I surrender it to the divine, divine of the no thing, which is the divine of all things. And I just know and accept that the divine is going to cleanse, transmute, alchemize, and put the energy right back out for fair use. And if the divine decides to send this energy back to the persons or person that left this energy in the room, it is the divine's choice. And I honor that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of this Soul Talk with Sandee M. I thank you for this chit chat. And for anyone coming in, seeing it as a replay, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.